Hi, my name is Anna Gafford, and today I'm going to be giving my informational speech on to be or not to be. Honeybees are responsible for pollinating up to 30% of U.S. crops. This makes them incredibly important to not only the agricultural industry, but the world as well. Without honeybees, many of our important staple crops wouldn't be able to grow sufficiently, causing worldwide starvation. Honeybees are responsible for pollinating 1/3 of the food in your diet, like fruits and vegetables. I've spent the last 2 years studying honeybees and their importance to not only our food supply, but to the world as a whole. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about the history of the North American honeybee, the importance of the North American honeybee, the current state of their population, and the reason for the decline in their population. So first, I'm going to be giving you the history of the North American honeybee. The honeybee didn't actually originate in the United States. They were first brought over from Europe to the U.S. whenever the colonies were first beginning to form. They were brought over to help aid the colonies with the pollination of their crops. Due to the fact that honeybees don't actually originate from the United States, they can't be put on the endangered species list. So the modern North American honeybee isn't actually a species. It's kind of a mixed breed between many different species of honeybees, including the European bee and the German bee. Some apiaries also choose to use the Africanized bees, but Africanized bees can be very aggressive, so many apiaries don't want that in their bloodline. Early settlers realized the important role that honeybees played in the population of their crops. Honeybees are important to not only farmers, but to consumers like you as well. The honeybee helps to pollinate 30% of U.S. crops. Edward Wilson says the honeybee is responsible for producing more than $15 billion a year in U.S. crops, including apples, berries, cantaloupes, cucumbers, alfalfa, and almonds. They're also responsible for producing $150 million worth of honey annually. Honeybees are the biggest and most important pollinator in the world. Since honeybees are responsible for pollinating 30% of U.S. crops, that means 1/3 of our food supply is solely dependent upon the honeybee. That also means 1 out of every 3 bites of food that you take is dependent upon the honeybee. At the same time that people are finally starting to realize the importance of honeybees, the population is rapidly declining. In April 2016, researchers reported that honeybee keepers lost 40% of their colonies in the prior 12 months. That is an extreme increase from 39% in 2014. 2015 was the first year in history beekeepers lost more bees in the summer months than in the winter months. Kimberly Amato states that at this current rate, honeybees will completely disappear by the year 2035. If honeybees were to disappear, it would lead to worldwide starvation and the disappearance of many important staple crops, like apples, cherries, and almonds. Finally, I'm going to tell you about why their population is declining. There are various different reasons for the decline in the honeybee population. Insecticides are thought to be one of the biggest causes of this rapid decline. Insecticides are what farmers and even backyard growers put on their crops and food to help steer away insects and bees. So even Roundup is causing bees to die, because when they bring it back to their colonies, it ends up causing colony collapse disorder. Colony collapse disorder is a phenomenon that occurs when worker bees leave the colonies and leave behind the queens and the young bees to fend for themselves. This can be caused by things like insecticides, parasites, and the varroa mite. The varroa mite is an external mite that attacks the honeybee. It attaches to the bee's body and weakens it by sucking on its blood, like how a tick would for a human or even an animal. Genetic bottlenecking is also a reason for the large percentage of the enormous decline we see within our honeybee population. Travis Dines and his colleagues say that genetic bottlenecking is referred to as an extreme lack of genetic diversity among populations, which can potentially lead to genetic drift. So much of the lack of genetic diversity and genetic bottlenecking that we see within our honeybee populations is due to the fact that apiaries don't use enough queens in their breeding populations. So today I've talked to you about the history of the honeybee, the importance of the honeybee, the current state of the honeybee population, and also why the honeybee population is declining. It's crazy how big of an impact such a little thing like a honeybee can have on our survival. Without honeybees, farmers would not be able to produce many staple crops, causing the world to be without an adequate food supply. This would lead to worldwide starvation and ultimately be the cause of many people's deaths. Thank you.